YouTube video. As always, my name is James, and this is a short video I wanted to do kind of in relation to a few other videos that I've done as of late. Um, if you stayed up late enough, and uh, you'd have to be, at least in the US, that'd be quite late, um, to watch all of, or very close to all of, Vince's previous Paint-a-thon video that I was very, very happy to have been able to have been part of. Vince asked the question at that time if I had any clues from reading the novels about any upcoming model releases that maybe hadn't been talked about. And at that time I didn't. I talked about a Tzeentch demon that I thought might be coming out, but I wasn't sure what it was. And I realized there's already a model for it. Vince just painted it up. I can't remember exactly what it's called, but basically it's a big, I think it's four-legged creature that's on all fours, lifting one arm up. It's got a big old sun thing on its back. I'll put a picture in the video right here and a name of it. I don't know it off the top of my head. But anyways, I thought that maybe there would be a model to represent that. Well, there already is, because that had appeared in a story. In addition, I had thought that maybe we'd be seeing a new Lord of Change and a new Kairos Fate Weaver, because they're both in several of the stories, like Kairos Fate Weaver specifically, and other Lords of Change and a few other stories that have been the more recent ones that have come out. And if you look at the kind of release schedule of the novels thus far, we had the books that mostly focused on the Hammers of Sigmar, which are kind of the Ultramarines, if you're familiar with 40k of the Age of Sigmar world. They're really the first and foremost of all of Sigmar's storm hosts. And then we had the Khorne primarily in that, in those books that first came out, not just about them, but also in some of the other stories. And then afterwards, we began to get into the Nurgle forces and the Tzeentch forces, but none of them were really necessarily speak on anything new. And then most recently, we've had the audio drama series that featured Lord Celestant Tarsis and his bull hearts that I've done a full review on. And this really dealt with the Realm of Death, and it had several firsts in it. It was the first time that we see, first off, more than one of the Chaos Gods present in one of the mortal realms. All the other books that have talked about them have had only one Chaos God in them. Now, oftentimes they'll have like Beastmen or other things that are not necessarily aligned with any one of the three that are still active. We did have some Skaven as well mentioned in the Realm of Life, but not in any of the others as far as I can recall. Actually, I take that back. There was Skaven in the Realm of Metal at one point, but other than that, there hasn't really been Skaven appearing anywhere yet. But in the Realm of Death, we actually have Nurgle, Khorne, and Tzeentch forces mentioned. So it's the first time there's been more than one of the main three that are still around. And in fact, it's the only place that's had all three thus far. And so really the Realm of Death has been, in many ways, from a narrative perspective, kind of like a greater kind of emphasis placed on this than a lot of the other realms. In addition, not only do we have that 4-part series that was that audio drama series, we also have in two of the other books direct links back to the Realm of Death. So the Realm of Death has actually been in the story more than any other of the other mortal realms that have been traveled to by the Stormcasts. In addition, at the end of the audio drama series, we have Nagash talking about how he has himself regained enough power that he can take his physical form again. In fact, we see it. He does battle with some of the Stormcasts. He talks about that his loyal Mortarks, which is the ones other than Manfred, so Neferata and Archon the Black, are gathering his legions, and there may actually be more than these two. From the way he speaks, it sounds like he may have more than just the two of them, but he rallies 999 legions to march to war and to retake his realm of death from chaos and to begin waging war against the broader scope of the mortal realms. So I, of course, like in my Fire Slayers video where I talked about what I, was kind of predicting for them from a narrative perspective, there's no rumors or leaks or anything that I've seen. In fact, I try to avoid the rumor sites like Bell of Lost Souls and the like. Honestly, I just got sick of them. They are breeding grounds for negativity and like trolling negativity, not deserved negativity. But anyways, there's no kinds of official rumors or anything. This is just purely based off of my reading the narrative and looking at how release schedules have kind of aligned with it. I think that Death is the next big realm that we're going to see. We may not see a whole lot of Death releases come out, but I do expect to see pretty soon, probably by June or July, maybe a little bit after, a campaign book that is detailing the realm of Death. Whenever we had the initial launch of Age of Sigmar, we had, the initial Age of Sigmar book, and we had the Quest for Gal Maraz, which covers one of the stories that I'm about to review, which is from the book Gal Maraz, and a preceding story in the book Warstorm that also covered right after the initial launching of Sigmar's campaign into the Realm of Fire in the book Gate of Azir. This continued that story and then also went on into finding Gal Maraz, and so we had that kind of begin to set the story, and then we've had just the Realm of Death pop up so many times, and just with the way that this, which is the most recent release, this narrative series in the Realm of Death ended. Nagash is ready to march to war. Death is ready to truly show itself as a power, perhaps on the scale of Chaos and Sigmar's own forces, to really make this a three-way tug of war. And so I would expect to see at least a large Death campaign book or book in the Realm of Death come out, and hopefully some new Death releases. From the narrative perspective, the Tomb Kings are gone. Like, it doesn't seem that they're mentioned at all. Like, there are skeletal units, and I expect most of the units to stay, but I do expect a update that maybe changes the aesthetic of a lot of them. Maybe not away from the Egyptians entirely, but maybe scales back on that a little bit and kind of aligns it a bit more with some of their more recent releases of the Death faction. I would expect that to come out. I think that, the fact that the Malignants box set came out isn't necessarily a strong indicator one way or the other, but I do believe that perhaps it is showing more of the direction that the Death faction is going to be heading in. We have more of this trend towards the skeletal units looking more like these Hex Wraiths do, and more of like a Grim Reaper-esque sort of look, as opposed to more of the, Pharaoh Egyptian kind of look. So, again, I don't have anything to really nail this down. This is just my speculation. This is my tinfoil hatting, as Vince and Tom always say. But we'll see. I'd be really excited if it does. I obviously enjoy the Death faction. That's why I've been spending most of my time building them up as of late. So, but only time will tell. So comment below what you think. Would you be excited for that? What do you hope comes out next? And if that does come out, what would you like to see from it? So until next time, this is James, and happy gaming.